The minority registers its unequivocal objection to the removal of the Chief Justice, Mrs. Gertrude Araba Esaba Saki Torkonoo. We believe the process lacked transparency, violated constitutional principles, and set a dangerous precedent for judicial interference. 3 separate petitions were referred to the Puaman Committee. The committee only had 1 petition, then adjourned proceedings for continuation on the 15th of September. Yet, without notice to any party in the matter, the committee suddenly submitted a report on the 1st of September, and within 2 hours, an announcement was made of a removal. Was that adjournment a deception, Mr. Speaker? Even more troubling was a warrant of the suspension. It claimed to have made a prima facie determination, but to date, no one has seen such document, and this raises serious constitutional questions. The so-called Puaman report remains a secret document. We, the minority, shall not relent on our demand for a copy and a full disclosure of this report. Mr. Speaker, this matter goes beyond one individual. If this false and irregular process succeeds, it endangers every independent constitutional body. The Auditor General, the Electoral Commission, the National Commission for Civic Education, and even the Public Services Commission could be targeted next under the same Article 146 procedure. The question that must even be asked, that when a person is removed as a Chief Justice, does he or she remain a Justice of the Supreme Court? This will destroy the safeguards of accountability and erase the principle of probity from our governance. If judicial independence can be manipulated in this manner, we should not expect free or credible elections in future. Mr. Speaker, the judiciary is the last line of defense for our democracy, and any act that undermines its independence strikes at the heart of our constitutional order. The minority will resist any attempt to compromise the sanctity of the judiciary. Ghana's institutions must be protected from political manipulation, and we will not sit idly by while dangerous precedents are set. On the issue of illegal mining, we, the minority, are of the view that this represents one of Ghana's gravest governance challenges that has persisted across successive governments and which has escalated into a full-blown national crisis is the menace of illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey. The devastation caused by galamsey to our environment, water bodies, and public health cannot be overstated. Even as we convene today, Mr. Speaker, our rivers run brown with pollution. Vast tracts of once fertile land lies carried and toxic, and many of our citizens in mining communities face illness and danger from poisonous chemicals. We have talked about illegal mining for years, yet the problem has only grown worse. Time for mere talk is over. We need decisive, visionary action now to save our country's future from disaster. Not long ago, we were warned. One such early warning came in 2010 when investigative journalist Anas Arimayel Anas released a documentary exposing the dark underbelly of galamsey. That expose, part of the Africa Investigate series, shone a light on the tragic consequences of illegal mining that were already evident back then. The documentary recounted how in June 2010, a galamsey pit near Dunkwa Onofin flooded, killing an estimated 150 people in a single disaster. It showed the rampant corruption and complicity that allowed galamsey to flourish, including officials meant to enforce the law taking bribes to look the other way. It highlighted the environmental havoc being unleashed, rivers poisoned with mercury, cyanide and other toxins, local communities suffering flooding and pollution, fishermen and farmers losing their livelihood. Anas's work in 2010 was an early warning alert for our nation. Then again in 2015, Finance Minister Honorable Setekpe again brought this up at the Finance Committee hearing in Parliament when discussing reasons for the declining cocoa production in Ghana. Tragically, Mr. Speaker, those warnings were not heeded with the urgency and seriousness they deserved. Fast forward, today, the nightmare scenario is upon us. Just last month, new study by Pure Earth and Ghana's own EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, revealed terrifying data about toxin levels in mining communities. In some areas, mercury contamination in the soil is 134 times above safe levels, and arsenic concentration are over 4,000% higher than what the WHO deems safe. These poisonous metals are seeping into the water, into food crops, into the very bodies of our people. Doctors are reporting an uptick in children from mining areas developing kidney disorders and even finding mercury pellets in their x-rays. Children, Mr. Speaker, now require dialysis because of the poisonous fruits of galamsey. Our nation's future is being sickened and stunted. Mr. Speaker, despite being Ghana's top gold producer, the surge in unregulated small-scale mining has created an underground economy that drains national resources and benefits criminal networks. In just 8 months this year, small-scale gold exports surged to over $6.3 billion, according to the CEO of Ghana Gold Board. However, much of this trade is believed to be illicit. The state loses billions in revenue while communities suffer environmental devastation. The minority stands with all Ghanaians, calling for decisive action. We welcome the advocacy from civil society and religious leaders, and we support real solutions from tougher laws to sustainable alternatives.
I begin on a very solemn note. We must start by remembering our colleagues who died in that tragic helicopter crash of the 6th of August 2025. The Right Honourable Speaker has already mentioned their names, but suffice it to add that two were particularly close to us. The Honourable Dr. Edward Kofi Omane-Boama, a non-voting member of this House and the then Minister for Defence, and Honourable Alhaji Dr. Murtala Ibrahim, the then Member of Parliament for Tamale Central and Minister for Environment, Science and Technology. The other distinguished Ghanaians who perished in the fatal accident have all been mentioned, and I will urge colleagues to remember them in their prayers. And on behalf of colleagues in this House, let me extend our condolences to the families of the bereaved and urge all of us to support the efforts to maintain their children. A minute of silence has already been observed in remembrance of our colleagues. Let me thank this House for that. Right Honourable Speaker, this loss occasioned a by-election in the Tamale South, and in addition to an earlier loss of our colleague, which also occasioned another by-election in Akwatia. Mr. Speaker, in the two by-elections, the National Democratic Congress, the NDC party, won the elections. Mr. Speaker, winning Akwatia about 8 months in office signals the growing popularity of the NDC in government and general public positive rating of the government of the NDC under President John Dramani Mahama. Mr. Speaker, with these two elections and the one that took place in Ablekuma, this House is now fully constituted. The independent members of this House remain 4. The NPP, which previously had a micro-minority of 88, has had its number shrink further to 87. Mr. Speaker, I believe they are no longer a micro-minority, but a minuscule minority. Mr. Speaker, micro could actually be a large number, because micro is a unit of measurement. 1 million can actually be micro when you are evaluating 1 billion. In English, when you want to describe something as very small, you say minuscule. The NDC supermajority will balloon to 185, and when we add our numbers to the 4 independents who have agreed to do business with us, the NDC will become a gargantuan majority. All I can say is, Mr. Speaker, so far, so excellent. During recess, MPs had the opportunity to observe the impact of work we did during our previous meetings, the budget we approved, the laws we passed, and the policies underpinning them. Our engagements revealed the persistent, urgent need to address youth unemployment. We must ensure that our laws and the policies that we enact create jobs. Ghana's population still remains very young. Citizens aged 15 to 35 make up over 38% of the population and 60% of the labor force. They face enormous barriers to economic inclusion. Indeed, they want jobs. In the 2024 Afrobarometer report of the CDD, concerns about unemployment was the topmost concern of most Ghanaians. This was followed by the management of the economy and then infrastructure. During this meeting of Parliament, members will focus on reviewing job creation policies of the various sectors. We propose to hold a special parliamentary hearing on the extractive industries with a view to exploring the impact on beneficial national economic development, overall benefit to the country, and in particular, the extent to which local content legislation are being enforced to create jobs for Ghanaians and ownership of the extractive industries. Every sector of our economy has a job creation potential, and our debates and deliberations in this meeting will focus on how this Parliament would hold sector heads accountable for ensuring that jobs are indeed created to the benefit of the Ghanaian youth. In this regard, most committees will be requested to conduct hearings on the extent of job creation policies and programs of the various sectors so we can enhance efforts towards job creation. Indeed, during the recess, we had the opportunity for committees to engage in field visits and engage with interest groups and governmental agencies, and we observed firsthand the impacts of the financial budget and economic policies and legislation we passed in the previous meetings of Parliament. Right, Honorable Speaker, I am proud to say that so far, so excellent. The energy sector is doing very well, and electricity has remained on and powering growth. So far, so excellent. The economy is rebounding, and Ghana once again is gaining economic respectability globally. So far, so excellent. The Ghana cedi is gaining strength and stabilizing. So far, so excellent. Inflation has come down to single digit, and prices are coming down, and life is becoming affordable to the ordinary Ghanaian. So far, so excellent. We are paying our debts, and at the same time, we are not accumulating needless debts. So far, so excellent. We are spending on the right things, and within our means. We are spending, but spending wisely. So far, so excellent. Our schools are functioning well, and free HSS is well funded, and we have not experienced any disruption of the school year calendar in our constituencies during our recess. Let me repeat, our schools are functioning well, and free SHS is well funded, and we have not experienced any disruption of schools or school calendar in our constituencies. So far, so excellent. Mr. Speaker, the NHIA has paid a total of 2.84 billion Ghana cedis in claims to accredited healthcare providers across the country. This represents the most consistent payment trend since the scheme's inception. The NDC are the best implementers of social intervention schemes. As I address you, there are no arrears outstanding. Claim payments are now up to date, with reimbursements made monthly. A marked improvement from previous years when payments delayed for several months. This improvement has restored confidence among healthcare providers, stabilized service delivery, and enhanced the scheme's credibility across all regions. Additionally, the uncapping of the NHIL by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama has released an additional 3.4 billion Ghana cedis to the NHIE, marking a historic fiscal breakthrough that secures sustainable funding for timely claims payment, expansion of coverage, and implementation of flagship reforms such as free primary health care and Mahama Cares. So far, so excellent. Mr. Speaker, the health insurance scheme is on track to reach an unprecedented 20 million active members by end of year 2025. So far, so excellent. Our hospitals and health facilities are being well funded, and Mr. Speaker, I can only say good things will happen to this country. Our metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies are very well financially lubricated, with prompt transfers of 80% of the common fund allocations. Total disbursement for the first quarter of 2025 was 711,334,852 Ghana cedis and 56 pesos. That's the first quarter. Second quarter 2025 disbursement was also completed on 21st August 2025, and this was 1,318,484,908 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, these disbursements are boosting local economies, as procurements which must be done at that level are being done to create local jobs and opportunities. So far, so excellent. Many progressive initiatives we approved in this House in the last meetings have been launched on course and are on course. Notably, the big push in road infrastructure is on course. So far, so excellent. Mr. Speaker, Info Analytics did some polls released in July 1st, 2025, and they revealed that 70% of Ghanaians believe the country is on the right track. 70% of Ghanaians believe the country is on the right track. So far, so excellent. As of September 2025, Global Info Analytics Survey found 58% believed the government was doing enough to fight against corruption, and 53% said corruption had improved. So far, so excellent. A similar report of Info Analytics in 2024 revealed that 65% of Ghanaians believe that the country was heading in a wrong direction. There is a clear turnaround in how Ghanaians perceive their country and their government now. We must stay the course in this direction, and the work of this meeting of Parliament must keep the pressure on our executive arm of government to keep delivering. In this regard, I want to assure Ghanaians that the overwhelming NDC majority will not treat our counterparts in the executive with kid gloves. We will continue to demand performance and delivery of promises made in our manifesto. Bipartisanship shall be our hallmark, so we will tolerate our minuscule minority and heed sound and genuine criticism. Mr. Speaker, this is a budget meeting. We will be receiving the 2026 budget statement in due course, but the signs of a very positive development are already clear. 95% of Ghanaians in a survey conducted by professional service firm PwC in July 2025 believe the country's macroeconomic performance in the first half of the year has met or exceeded expectations. 95% of Ghanaians believe that our macroeconomic performance, yes, our macroeconomic performance has met or exceeded expectations. Indeed, even members of the MPP cannot deny the fact that the indicators are looking very, very good. So far, so excellent. Mr. Speaker, we in the NDC are governing well. The president of Imani, Franklin Kujo, on July 5th, 2025, strongly endorsed President John Dramani Mahamad's recent decision to scrap fuel allowances and allocations for all political appointees, describing it as a wonderful initiative. So many wonderful initiatives that should be codified into law to prevent future reversals. So far, so excellent. On October 10th, 2025, the IMF stated that Ghana's economy is rebounding faster than anticipated, with macroeconomic stabilization taking root following a strong performance in the first half of 2025, underpinned by strong services activity, agricultural output, and others. So far, so excellent. The IMF has also lauded Ghana on recent stabilization of the cedi, noting that the development signals improvement in the country's economic fundamentals, renewed policy credibility, and investor confidence. So far, so excellent. On May 7, 2025, Bloomberg rated the Ghana cedi as the best performing currency in the second quarter. Bloomberg rated the Ghana cedi as the best performing currency in the second quarter. So far, so excellent. The positive endorsement of policies and programs this House approved keep coming locally and internationally. During a high-level meeting in Washington, D.C., the African Development Bank President, Dr. Sidi Ulta, described the gold board under the new President John Dramani Mahama-led administration as a timely innovation that aligns with the African Development Bank's efforts to promote responsible resource management and fiscal sustainability. So far, so excellent. The economist, chartered accountant, and banker, Dr. Akwesi Ajiman, in his mid-year economic review of 2025, stated that Ghana's political reset in 2025 has coincided with an unmistakable economic rebound. Inflation is easing, the Ghana cedi has steadied, business activity is picking up, and this grants the new administration its first real chance to rewrite the country's stop-start growth story. Mr. Speaker, to cap it all, Mr. Speaker, we are going to the World Cup in America. So far, so excellent. So much has been achieved so far within a short time, but a lot remains to be done. We are not out of the woods yet, and many things must change. Recently, we placed senior high school students. The lobby to get into grade A schools reveals a malaise that must be fixed in our educational sector. There must be no grade A school and no grade B schools. We spend equally on all teachers in all schools. We in this parliament must do whatever it takes to fix all schools and demand equal performance. We pay equally to all schools. This house must begin to demand accountability and the greater standards of performance from all our services: education service, health service, judicial service, and all the public services of Ghana. Reforming attitudes there must engage our attention. The reset agenda must permeate our public services. Mr. Speaker, the story of Ghana is now being told in a positive light on all international platforms. The reset agenda of President John Dramani Mahama and the NDC party is on course. This House will sustain the agenda in this meeting. We will demand accountability for past acts of corruption and abuse of power and gross mismanagement of the economy. We will demand the full implementation of the report of Operation Recover or Loot. Right, Honourable Speaker, my team has engaged the various sector ministers with a view to understand the weight of government business to be brought before us during this meeting. If they all receive the expected cabinet approvals, we could have a heavy legislative program in addition to the usual very involving consideration of the national budget. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Health has planned to seek approval for some legislation, including regulations: the National Health Insurance Regulations, National Vaccine Institute Regulation, Ghana Medical Trust Fund Regulation, Allied Health Professional Council Regulations, and others. The Ministry of Education will seek the passage of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, change of university names. Mr. Speaker, there's been a cabinet directive to change the names of all the universities that were changed to individuals back to the names that they were given. A bill will be brought to this House to change and reverse all the changes of the names of the universities. Mr. Speaker, the ministry will also seek this House approval for the passage of the Ghana Book Development Council Bill, the University of Engineering and Agricultural Science Bonsu Bill, College of Education Amendment Bill, Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply Chain Bill, the National Teaching Council Regulations, National Council for Curriculum and Assessment Regulations, National Schools Inspectorate Authority Regulations, Ghana Tertiary Education Commission Regulations, and others. The Ministry of Transport will seek passage of the Road Traffic Amendment Bill, the Road Traffic Amendment Regulations, Road Traffic Amendment, Ghana Shippers Authority Regulations, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority Bill, ratification of the African Road Safety Charter, and others. The Minister of Interior will seek the expeditious passage of the Security Intelligence Agencies Bill, the Immigration Service Amendment Regulations, Prison Service Parole Regulations, and the Gaming Regulations, Diaspora Birthright Certificate Bill, Community Service Bill, and the Extradition Bill. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources will want us to ratify a number of mining leases. These will include the ratification of mining leases in respect of Persos Mining Ghana Limited, Clean Jobs Ghana Limited, TMC Limited, GM Group of Companies Limited, Golden Star Wasa Limited, Zagog Gold Limited, Gadriato Group of Companies Limited, Maripoma Mining Services Limited, and Bari DV Ghana Limited. They also program to bring before us the Wildlife Resource Management Regulations 2025. Right, Honourable Speaker, let me at this juncture mention that whilst we were away on recess, the issue of illegal mining, referred to as Galamsey, became very topical. His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama spoke to the nation in a media interaction and outlined progress made so far for the multiple approaches of government to deal with this matter. During this meeting, this House will build the needed collaboration and coalition of MPs to join the fight against Galamsey. After all, it is happening in our various constituencies and by our various constituents. We perhaps hold the key to solving this problem. In this regard, we will demand full accountability of the Minerals Commission and the Environmental Protection Agencies in the way mining prospecting licenses are awarded and leases issued and the environmental implications thereof. Right, Honourable Speaker, the Minister of Foreign Affairs has some international agreements which we will be called upon to consider for ratification. Some are the visa waiver agreements between the government of the Republic of Ghana and the Republic of Algeria, Republic of Angola, and the Republic of Serbia. Headquarters agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana and Afrobarometer, and the presidential initiative to offer 1,000 tertiary scholarships to ECOWAS citizens. Waiver of import duties and other taxes on vehicles for foreign service officers and analogous appointees, establishment and implementation of Ghana Diaspora Bond Program, and membership in the Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa Alliance. That's the BRICS Alliance. Let me mention that the issue of the need for parliamentary ratification of the agreement with the United States to receive ECOWAS citizens being repatriated back to the sub-region has been widely debated. If the appropriate legal advice to this House is that we should ratify it, we will consider so. But I can say with authority that the majority approves of the arrangement and highly commends government for negotiating the removal of the U.S. visa restrictions on Ghanaians. Given our business and social ties with America, these restrictions were going to be extremely burdensome to many Ghanaian businesses and families. The Ministry of Land, Local Government, Chieftaincy, and Religious Affairs will seek the passage of the Local Governance Amendment Bill, Coastal Development Authority Repeal Bill, Middle Belt Development Authority Repeal Bill, and the program that the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition include the ratification and passage of National Petroleum Authority Bill, ratification of petroleum agreements in respect of Block GHB 01 involving the Government of Ghana, GNPC, GNPC Exploco, and TriStar Upstream Oil and Gas Limited. They will also seek the passage